outlook on the season, your personnel, and then we'll get into a question and answer.
Well, it's always a fun time of year right now. When we hit October, we get in practice mode. We're a few weeks in right now. We have a lot of new faces, and we also have a really great core returning. So right now it's a matter of building some chemistry, trying to get some things and actions we want to see more of, and getting some other things off film a little bit more of. But love the work ethic of this group. I love how much we've been communicating. I love the intensity of practices, and excited about the season.
Tricia, in the Big Sky this year, there's so many headlining returners. You guys have some, but also a lot of newcomers. Do you feel like you're kind of a mystery in this league?
Well, we definitely are a mystery with our two transfers. You know, Claire and Martha are going to both be really impactful players for us this season. That's been clear since day one, so they're a really important piece of what we're doing on both ends of the floor. And then we have some freshmen, some newcomers that are certainly making some noise too, as far as playing time and contributing as well. So with that being said, it's really exciting, but it's also going to take a little bit of time to get that chemistry in place, just because it's mixing a couple transfers, mixing in some new faces with our experience in our core returning.
Kind of mentioned having to develop some chemistry with, do you do any activities or anything like that to try and build some relationships with everyone on the team?
You know, it's funny with this program and how well our kids do with the off the court activities. That those things just happen naturally. I think Claire's taken every teammate on a hike since day one. She even hiked the M in the snow on Saturday. So she's done more hikes in her time here for 2 years than I have in 13. But the chemistry piece, I think our kids just really care about each other, spend a lot of time together. So those things they are really intentional about. What I'm talking about is more of just the on-court chemistry of just the actions and just being familiar with what's this kid going to do in this situation. We just need more time with certain groups on the court together. But we're seeing some of those things, and those are really exciting. And some of the things that we're seeing are very different than even last year's team. I just think we're a different mix in how we're going to just evolve and take advantage of the strengths of this team. That's our job, to put them in those situations.
Are there any roles that you think are being filled this season that you guys might have lacked last season with newcomers?
Well, I wouldn't. I'm not even going to address last season, because I thought our kids did a fantastic job with what we had as far as to the table there. But just being different this season, I think. When I look at Claire and Martha and some of our other kids, we want to take advantage of some of the strengths that they have at the table. Like, for example, being able to post them up at times, even though that they're perimeter kids for us. And you've got somebody like Oleana that's really explosive. I want to find some opportunities for her to be more in the open court. So defensively, we'd like to get a few more opportunities with this group with our length. And Coach Sunny is new to our program too. She's overseeing our defense, and I really like what we're doing in those steps to play to the strengths of this unit. So I think our upperclassmen have done a great job with leadership. Claire has just by example, it's just nice to have somebody that you can just look to, this is the way to get it done every day. And so we've got Claire and Blair have been nominated captains by their peers, and I just think that they bring a lot to the table in that department. And we've got a group of veterans that are hungry to do something special this year.
Hannah broke the assist record for career here. So are you comfortable with what you have coming back in the backcourt? How do you kind of replace that leadership, I guess?
Yeah, well, kind of even addressing from the last question is I think you just play to the strengths of your current personnel. So you don't necessarily replace those kids, but you evolve with and you adapt with what you do have. And right now, Oleana and Tori Martell have just been so explosive in practices that they're going to be two kids that are going to be hard to keep off the floor. So how do you have those two together on the floor when they're both scoring guards? And how do you have, Claire and Martha are two of those other kids that, you just need to find more opportunities to have those kind of kids on the court. So we are having multiple people bring it in transition this year, a little bit different than what we've been accustomed to. We've had traditionally try to find and get the ball in Hannah's hands. And so that's going to take a little bit of time of getting somebody like Claire to just rebound and go. And, we are looking for some teammates right now. There's some kids that are a little bit more comfortable in those roles than others. And we get into the half court, we'll certainly have some people that'll be organizing us, but collectively we're just trying to maybe stretch the floor a little bit more with this group, and even allow our fives to do a little bit more in space on the perimeter more than the last 2 years.
Hannah and Delaney were both so familiar with that group right before them too, like Alexa and Lindsay.
Yep.
Seems like it's kind of a new identity for the team. What have you seen out of this group? And they have some familiarity with them, with each other
For
too.
sure.
So how does that help kind of this transition?
Yeah, you know, there's obviously building familiarity with each other here. I love the physicality of this team. I think we're really getting a great focus on our rebounding potential. I think we have an ability to get to the foul line at a great level with this team. And, you know, I just think our size across the board is going to be a strength for this group. But, yeah, we'll just keep building into that.
With how much you mentioned you're evolving, do you think, you know, you found your team identity yet, or do you think you've found that already?
Well, you want to answer that, Claire?
I think we're working towards it. Every day we've been building up towards that more and more, and just as we get to know each other and working with each other over the summer, everybody has been kind of getting that chemistry going, so we're getting there. Yeah.
Claire, what was last year like for you having to sit out?
It was tough. It was hard seeing my teammates go through some of the struggles they did and wishing I could be there to help them more. Especially towards the end of the season with the tournament and everything. Just knowing that I could have possibly made an impact even in the slightest way, and that could have been beneficial to the team. But it was definitely a learning experience, and I feel like Coach Ben has taught me a lot, and hopefully I'll be able to put it to work this year.
Do you feel like you're trying to, you know, still find your place with the team, or do you feel like your role is kind of adapting, you know, going into this season now?
Yeah.
What are you used to?
With the incoming freshmen, I think they are the ones who have been trying to fit in with everything. We had pretty well established from last year what everybody's role was, so yeah.
What brought you to Montana State?
Honestly, just a change of pace, and as soon as I talked to Coach Ben, I knew this was the place I wanted to be. The first time I talked to her was actually 2 years ago at the Big Sky tournament. She called me and just started talking about how much of a fit Montana State was for me, and I believed every word she said. So I was sold from there.
What do you think makes it a good fit?
Just the chemistry I feel like everybody has. Everybody gets along really well. We can talk to the coaches about anything and they'll listen, and that's a big part. And Bozeman is an awesome area, and I had no idea, so it's all good.
Were you a hiker before you got here, or did that
Yes.
develop? Okay.
I was a hiker, but not to this extent.
Okay.
There's just so many places to go.
I'll
out here.
encourage her to get some bear spray. That's all I ask.
Yeah,
That's all I
I
ask.
do need some bear spray.
What's your favorite hike?
Probably Stormcastle. Yeah, it's my favorite.
You had some history with some of the girls already on the team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So does that make the acclimation easier when you do know some of the girls from your past?
Yeah, it does. And Tori, there's actually a couple of us that played for the same AAU team, so we had that connection. And then just getting to know them as soon as I came into the program, and with Martha also being from Seton Hall, we already had that chemistry established. So just building from there is the main goal.
To that end, I mean, how close are you with Martha?
We're pretty close. We know each other really well. We were roommates for 3 years on the road, or 2 because she's only, so 2 years. And then we would just have these conversations in the hotel room, so we really got to know each other.
Trish, what's that like having 2 really good players that you know could contribute, but they have to sit out because of the rule? What was last year like for you when you know you have 2 players coming?
Well, I think you just always remind yourself to stay in the present, stay in the moment, and we certainly went through that with Riley Nordgaard too, and she had a sit. But I thought what we did a better job of, just even from the experience with Riley, because that was a little bit new for us, is we try to find ways to make their experience better in the year that they're sitting out, and continue to grow and challenge and really elevate their games. And I just think Claire and Martha both have just done a tremendous job at continuing to get better, and that's really hard to do when it's far out, so to speak. But their teammates did a great job just keeping them included. You know, it's hard when you can't travel, but at the same time they embraced the situation and they made the most of it. And now we get to have them in uniform, which we're pretty fired up about.
Your junior class has played a lot, Oleana and Madeline and Claire. What's the next step for them now to become kind of upper tier players?
You know, I think when you go from sophomore year to junior year, it's about consistency. You know, I think you see some bright spots with underclassmen of the potential, the things that they can bring to the table. And you just want to see it on a regular basis. You just want to see it. You want to expect it. Yeah, you want to trust that it's going to be there. We call it the reliability factor of, you know, these are things that we need to count on a given day. And, you know, they've certainly shown that they're turning the corner in those areas. They're doing some things really well, but I'd also, even though she's only a sophomore, Tori Martell has had an amazing summer, so she's really contributed at a high level as well.
Claire, based on kind of what you saw watching last year and then into preseason this year, what are your expectations for the year ahead?
I have some pretty high expectations, I gotta say. I think from building off of last year, we made good headway, but I think we can push it a little bit farther. And just being able to sit on the sideline and watch how the game is played, I think is going to help a lot, just from the mental aspect of, I mean, the goal of the game is to put the ball in the bucket, so that's all there is to it.
You have some NCAA tournament experience, right?
Yes.
So then having some girls on this roster that have had it and you have it as well, how do you make those two things mesh?
I think it's just about trying to share your experiences and communicate them in a way that people can kind of get on board with that. And in the end, it's just going to be up to people believing that we can do this. And I know we can, so it's just about trying to carry that over.